Now we're talking about technology once again this Friday morning, and music videos this time. Lots of videos actually online. They're all changing. It's the start of something different, but as is always the way with technology, which we both love, Julia Hardy, don't we? This is what I've got this morning on my iPad.
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. So this is, thankfully we've got one or two bits on tape so we can talk you through, but I can't play with this morning.
Live
sadly.
TV.
Well, it's the way
technology
it goes.
don't always work.
But I think if you love technology, you do know, don't you, that actually it's not infallible. It does fail.
It's very true. A lot of the time, especially if it's live.
Especially if it's live. But look, videos are changing because interactivity is becoming popular with lots of things and lots of TV formats and what have you.
Yeah.
But in terms of video content, music video content, what is different with all this new set that we're seeing?
Well, I think it's, you've got a young music audience who are very tech savvy. You've got, people don't want to be passive all the time when they watch something. It's actually a very clever way of drawing people into the music you're making. So some of the ones we're going to be looking at, when you actually interact with them, you sort of naturally do it in time to the music a little bit. It's a way of kind of connecting. It's quite an interesting thing, I think.
Okay. Well, let's have a look at Bombay Bicycle Club.
Yes.
Which is, I mean, in a way, it just seems like a standard video, but you can play with it.
This is right. So basically you can kind of click from left to right to sort of rotate around the different members of the band. So you can kind of, pick what view you want. What's quite interesting, actually, I read about this, it's actually a homage to a photographer called Edward Muybridge, who, if you don't know, he was a very old-school photographer who took the pictures of, the horse running with his feet off the ground. Interesting fact, it came up because he was in a pub once and had a bet with his friend. So it's quite interesting, And so it's great, you can kind of basically flick through, you can make it your own. It's something about having a unique experience, and there aren't a lot of unique experiences, especially if you're watching video.
So it basically means that with all of this, they've shot it from 6 angles at the same time.
Yeah, and then you just sort of flick between them.
Which is quite cool, isn't it?
It's very cool. It's very, very cool. People don't want to be passive anymore. People want to get involved and be part of something and connect and have that unique sort of experience, which you don't normally get if you're just sitting, watching television.
And in terms of looking at different points of view, there's a great bar shot, isn't there?
Oh, yeah. So, this is Death Grips Gif Me Party, which is basically, you sort of go into, it's like a great American party, there's people in bikinis, there's some drunk frat guy over there, there's a guy with a pizza, and where you see this icon here, you basically switch between the different POVs of the people at the party. It's this incredibly voyeuristic look at this sort of life. It's completely fascinating, and there's so many people there as well. It's not just 1 or 2 or 3. There's a lot of people there. You can go up to the balcony. There's like a guy shooting a water gun. It's it's incredibly voyeuristic and sort of wonderful in a strange kind of way.
It's interesting, isn't it? But again, sort of the production that's gone into this must have taken forever.
I suppose it's not too clever in terms of what it's actually doing. I mean, you're just going to have to shoot a lot of different angles, basically, and then you're just clicking between the different videos.
Iggy Azalea.
Yes.
Talk me through this.
OK, so this is quite interesting in that this is the future. I mean,
This is your shopping.
most music videos, anyway, have a sort of link to technology in that, you watch a Justin Bieber video. Let's not go there.
I'm a believer.
You are?
Believer Bieber. Oh, no.
There will always be a kind of lingering product shot or something that will basically pay for the video. So in this particular one, you can actually click on the different people and buy what they're wearing. This is where it will go. This will be a natural progression for music videos, We could be watching Sky News and I could find out where to get your tie.
I wish I knew. I don't know where this came from. But, I mean, it is a good idea, isn't it, for those people? But presumably you can manipulate this so that actually it's going to push people towards higher brand products or what have you. It's
a very, very clever way of obviously monetising. I mean, there's not a lot of money in music in the way the old business model was, so they have to find other ways of, first of all, funding a music video because they're very expensive. Find a way of basically, making money out of it because they're not going to get money from their music anymore.
Bob Dylan. Because it's not just the youngsters getting in on all of this, is it? They're using some old stuff as well. Yeah, so this one is, I suppose it's the very early form of what interactive television is like, as in you change the channel. If you don't like something, you can switch it. If you go to see on the left-hand side, you flick through and you can basically just change what you're viewing, and it's lots of different people singing the song. Brilliant.
Yeah, it's very, very simple.
Love it.
Something but that means every time you watch it, you'll re-watch it and have a different experience.
So everything is different every time.
And also, here's another little interesting fact.
Just briefly.
Very, very briefly. Piracy. You can't pirate this. If you stripped it and ripped it and put it on YouTube, you wouldn't have this experience. So it deters piracy.
Do you know, we're out of time. which is why my iPad started working.
Oh, you're kidding me!
Hooray! Love it. Don't you love it? Julia, thank you very much indeed. Don't forget, there's lots more on Swipe tonight. We'll have more on the robotic spacecraft that's coming to life after a 10-year snooze. You can wake it up, actually, if you get online and see how to do all that. 7:45 and 8:45 here on Sky News this evening. But do stay with us here on Sky News. Lots more coming up live from Edinburgh in just a moment as we continue that search for Mikhail Kular. People searching through the night.